Let's just get the all-important team news out the way first. Who's available, who's not, and particularly the likes of Solanke, any chance, and Maddison, having this will be his second game in a week, how many minutes you might expect to get out of him?
Solanke is available for tomorrow. We have to decide if he starts in the first 11 or not, and Maddison is available. It's always tough on decide before the game how many minutes he can play. Of course, he's a different player. He's a top player for us. But we have to analyze the physical condition, the Italian weather, and
We're not complaining.
Italian weather, no,
We're not complaining,
and a lot of things. But yeah, both are available.
And when you hear sort of Maddison speak like he did after the Chelsea game, talking about the desire and the heart, I mean, is he a risk worth taking? Because how much of this game on Sunday is going to be about that, about handling the pressure? Sometimes it's not about the best footballers, is it? It's about the mentality of what those players are able to do under the pressure.
In football, there are different games, and there are this type of games like a final. For us, for West Ham, will be two finals, and we have to adapt, and we have to change the habits. I think is a great thing. Have the chance to play as a player. If I think as a player, for me, this type of games are good to play, to prepare, to suffer the pressure. The pressure is good. Depends of you are able to think, to stay stronger with you, first of all, to stay positive, and I think you can become, I said after the Chelsea game, this type of game you can become better as a coach, as a player, as a man, because you can become better going through the tough moment. If everything is good in life, yeah, you can improve, but not in this way.
I want to ask you about your captain. Some people are surprised, some people are very angry that your captain won't be at the game on the weekend, that he's off in Argentina watching his boyhood club play. And I wondered what you made of that decision and whether you'd had a conversation with him about going, and whether you said, listen, you are the captain of this club, we need everything on Sunday.
But no, he spoke with the medical staff. Together they decided to go in Argentina to complete the rehab with the Argentinian medical staff. We spoke last week with me. He showed always his he want to stay with us. The injury is not is already injury, and we have to accept. I'm not stupid.
If I
no, I want to be clear. I'm not stupid. If I understand there is any player or some player who thinks for himself before the club, I can't be the same Roberto, no? But with Cuti Romero, I can't say nothing, because with me, in my time, he has been correct at the beginning until now.
Until now. And you can understand why people are angry until now, because Sunday is the biggest game this club has had, and your captain's not going to be there. Are you disappointed in him?
I'd answer you. The decision was with the medical staff. And I think he can't change nothing if Romero tomorrow is on the stadium or not. And finally, I have no time to lose energy, to lose thinking other things. We have to be focused just on the game. And I think we have the players good enough to achieve our target.
Charlie.
Hi, Roberto. Just going back to your team news, some reports this week have said that Jed Spence has a broken jaw following that challenge with Liam Delap on Tuesday. How is he doing? Does he have a broken jaw?
He's available.
Will he need to wear a mask or anything
I
like
think
that?
It was another situation bad for us because I think it was a red card for the lap, but you have to repeat. I have no time to lose and energy to lose, thinking the referees or other things, red card, yellow card, and we move on thinking just on the game.
So obviously he can play. Under you so far, he's only made one Premier League start. He's received really good news today that he will be part of the England squad for the World Cup. Thomas Tuchel spoke a lot about how Jed has suffered with the situation at Spurs with all of the different managers coming in this season. But just wondered from your point of view, why haven't we seen more of Jed in your teams?
He's a great guy. I love Jed as a guy. After the game, I spoke with his mom outside of the stadium, his family, and I said the same. He has a big heart. He's a big player and big guy. And all of us, we are happy for he can go to play in World Cup.
I'd love to keep West Ham in the league if I can do. So, but it's more important that I get Everton that top half finish, and we try and get a few more £1 million because of our league places, which is so important as well. So, if we can do that, I think sometimes you don't look, when you're in this position, you don't look at your league position until you're 5 or 6 years down. You look back and you say, "Oh, finished 14th." Well, the truth is you should have maybe finished 10th or 9th or whatever you. So we've got to try and finish as high as we possibly can. But yeah, I really do hope that West Ham stay up.
Oh, I really do hope that West Ham stay up.
Does he though?
Maybe not good news.
Does he though?
Maybe not good news for Spurs, or maybe reverse psychology. Who knows? There's no doubt though that this is a final for Spurs on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean you'd want to be in Spurs' position because you're controlling your own destiny. Yeah. But the one problem they have, and I've had games like this as well, when you know you can draw a game, it takes real strength of character to play normally and really be positive and on the front foot and take some risks, because you just automatically protect what you've got. And that's where the manager's going to be vital in the build-up, to give them that freedom.
So they can draw, but they must not play to draw.
Well, they won't. There'll be no messaging from the manager, I wouldn't imagine, to the players to be cautious and be pragmatic. They'll go for the win. Yeah. But when you're on the pitch and you get, I don't know, let's say it's 0-0 with 5 minutes before half-time, and you start thinking, you know what, let's get to half-time. Yeah. And you start doing this, and players just don't take the risk to the ball as much. It takes strong characters, and a lot of those Tottenham players have struggled with confidence over recent months. So it's a huge... I think the first goal in the Tottenham game is key to the whole day. And if Tottenham score first, I fancy them to get through the day. If Everton are to score first, I think Tottenham are in trouble.
Yeah, they at Stamford Bridge, they could have wrapped it up. They could have secured survival. Even a draw would have been enough there because of their superior goal difference.
Madison had that chance near the end.
As we take a look
the
at
problem
it here.
is this, and we're seeing it right now. They cannot defend. They've not been able to defend all season. There's zero protection for the back four. I've not personally been convinced by either of their goalkeepers. They've won only 2 of their 18 games at home. They have drawn 6, so that does bode well. But 2 wins out of 18, you deserve to be where you are in the table. I look at the Spurs side. I know, and I agree with you. If they score first, it might settle a few nerves. The problem is they've scored first quite a lot this season, but they cannot see games out. They always... This is a team that could muck up a cup of coffee. Honestly, they are so poor. They are so poor. And I think...
Have you been waiting to use that all season?
Now I'm thinking, how do you mess up a cup of coffee?
But in all seriousness, I just do not trust them, even if they were to take the lead, to see that out. I look at West Ham and I see a side of resilience. I see a side of hunger and desire.
Although the last few games they've fallen away.
We are going to get to West Ham
but just on Spurs, I look at that back line and every one of them, I see a capability to, including Van der Ven, who I rate very highly, as we've talked about him before. They're a bag of nerves at the moment. And I cannot see them winning this.
Wow.
You know, Everton's record's terrible. 1 win in their last 14 at Spurs, right? It's terrible. But I can't see Spurs winning it.
You mentioned something very important, the home record of Spurs. And we're going to take a look at it because still looking for their first win at home 2026. When we were trying to work out who has the tougher run-in, you look at home games because that is a factor. Maybe not the case for Spurs. And you were talking about first goal and it being nervy for the crowd already. I mean, how much of a part does the fans have to also play in that on Sunday?
It's massive for them that they stick with them. The 2 home wins is a ridiculously unique thing in that, you know, a club like Spurs or a size of Spurs would normally always rely on their home games. I think one of the wins was the opening day of the season, Burnley, and the other one was a 2-0 win, I think, against Brentford. Their confidence is shot at home because the fans have been so frustrated. But there's one thing going in their favour since the Zerbi's come in. The 2 home games, I think it was Brighton, I think Leeds, the fans were with them. And it makes such a difference as a player that you're not getting the moans and groans every time you try something, it doesn't happen. The only time that could change, you know, I've been in stadiums where there's another game going on that's affecting you, and you hear this noise with the fans, and you're like, oh no. It's like a deep groan goes around the stadium. It's like, and vice versa. I mean, if Leeds would score at West Ham, all of a sudden the excitement of the Tottenham fans gives you a little. So in answer to the question, the fans. I think the fans have got their biggest role of the season at the weekend to stick with the players and keep them going because they don't have to score to win. Don't have to a 0-0 would do it. A 1-1 would do it. It doesn't have to be brilliant. Just have to get over the line.
Yeah, but this Everton team are a tough one. I know you mentioned their poor record at Spurs, but this Everton team under David Moyes, we need to give him props because they are still in with the chance of Europe.
They are, and, you know, he won't say it, and rightly so. But I think the 2 things... For him, he left West Ham because he was unappreciated. He'd taken him to a wonderful moment winning the Europa Conference League. And instead of rewarding him with a new deal, all the fans complained about the style of play. Now, listen, fans are the lifeblood of this game. They have a financial as well as emotional investment. They have every right to be unhappy with the style of play. But even so, the club could still stick by him and say, listen, we are going to double down. They didn't. And so he goes to Everton, he takes him up the table, he's in with a shout of winning.
But playing some decent
promotion.
stuff as well.
And they're playing some decent stuff. He's got a really settled side. I think he's used the fewest players and made the fewest changes to his team of any manager this season, and that's really helped them. They'll need to deepen the squad, but if they can get into Europe, what a season he'll have had. The first season at Hill Dickinson.
Remarkable job from David Moyes. Let's look at the other relegation team that is fighting that battle, West Ham. They must beat Leeds and hope their former boss, David Moyes, can do them a favour against Spurs to secure Premier League survival. Both managers have had their say ahead of this clash.
Just get your reaction to the news about Pep Guardiola today, announced that he will be leaving Man City next season.
Yeah, I think it's sad because I think Pep being involved in the game is always good. Because he always brings new things. He's a manager that has been able to change the dynamic of the game. So let's wait and see where he goes. But wish him all the best and congratulate him for fantastic 10 years.
West Ham fans, you know, on the day, on Sunday, they'll be glued to their phones, obviously looking at the Tottenham score. How do you, as a coaching staff, deal with that? Is that something you'll be keeping an eye on?
No, Everybody's going to be aware of what's happening in the other stadiums. We cannot go away from that. What I hope is that our players ignore what's coming out and focus on the tasks inside of the pitch. This is more important than anything.
After really a fantastic season for us in so many aspects, we want, of course, the best possible finish of the season. The best possible finish is always a good performance, a good result. Each and every position on the table counts, each and every point counts, and for that we are, of course, also hungry to extend our unbeaten run and also hungry to finish as this group of players also deserve in style with a good performance, and if possible also 3 points, and if not then perhaps 1 point, but of course we want to stay unbeaten.
Our big question here, can West Ham pull off a final day escape act? That's what we are all wondering. What's your feeling about it?
Well, I talked about Tottenham's home record, 2 wins in 18. West Ham's better, 5. Their last one was last month, ironically, against Everton. Yes, they did lose their last home game to Arsenal, but there's no shame in losing
They played well.
Exactly. Yeah. Before that, they'd won back-to-back games at home against Wolves and, I think, against Everton, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Everton. There you go. Thank you very much. All season, flowers are on their way. But no, I mean, I look at the last 3 games. They did lose their way. One of them was away from home at Brentford. You could, understand that one.
Well, they actually did all right in that game. I mean,
the Newcastle hit post twice, did they?
The Newcastle game was the poorest one, where the fans really got frustrated at the level of that performance. But that can happen. I think West Ham will win the game. Leeds have got some injuries. They're safe. West Ham have got some really top quality players high up the pitch. We know about Bowen, and Pablo's come in and done all right. So the reality is they've got to win and they've got to take some risks. So I think it'll be a good game. The problem is, even if they win, they could still go down, because that's just the position they're in. But in a way, there's a freedom that comes with that. You've got to win. There's no... So you just go for it. You're like, we've got to do our bit. The fans are going to get behind them. The players, I think, will play with a bit more freedom than you'll see the Tottenham players play with.
I think this will be a closer game than the other game. Leeds' recent record, they're undefeated in 10 of their last 11 games. They've been playing superbly well. They're scoring goals. They are really expressing themselves, but their record in London is poor, and that's what's going to help West Ham, I think. Also, the fact that, they're at home. The London Stadium's going to be a beer pit. It's going to be horrible for them.
The other thing and you might not believe this, but it's true.
What's your source? What's your source? Trust me, bro.
Hold on. When you're finishing the last game of the season and you've got nothing to play for, which Leeds haven't, OK, there might be 1 or 2 going off to the World Cup. OK. And the rest are going to have a holiday. The last thing you want to do is be injured over the summer.
Interesting.
It's honestly, you don't even mean to do it, but you think, I don't want the summer on a treatment table, I need a holiday, or I want to play in the World Cup. Your intensity drops, let's say 20%, 15, 20, probably 40 for those lads who are more obvious with it. You won't see Leeds at the same level. I'm certain of it. Because I've been in that situation so many... Why would you push yourself to the max when actually... You still play, you're still competitive, but that extra bit...
The job's done.
Yeah.
So the relegation battle going...
I think this is a remarkable situation. I mean, you guys tell me, I mean, you've both been there in dressing rooms, tense situations, whether or not it's going up, going down. Patrick, I'll start with you. Your club captain, even though he's injured, is on another continent in a game where you need fight. What's going on in that dressing room?
Probably a bit of confusion. I'd imagine the lads are speaking amongst themselves, and obviously the manager there has said that he's got no problem with it, and it's not that he's putting himself before the team. But I know as a player, you'd want your club captain, whether he's injured or not, to be at the game. And to
I was going to say, is that normal practice? Like, do you know what I mean? Even as a team, we see that sometimes, the captain be in the stands, right?
Yeah, and it just shows unity and together. And in such a massive game, I'm shocked that he's not there.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, what did you make of it when you heard about it?
I find it strange. I find it that the club has given him permission to do that, if that is the case. But if you're the captain, even if you're not playing, even if you're injured, you're there with your teammates. If it was not that much of an important game, even then you travel with your teammates, when you're the captain, to away games and majority of the time. That's why Spurs is in the position that they are, because people are doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like there's no unity, there's no togetherness.
Based on this situation, I know Roberto was asked the kind of question, and to be fair to him, he feels like he's skated around it as much as he can. Do you see Romero at Spurs next year? Say they stay up, do you see that, or do you think that's kind of a nail in a coffin moment?
I think he was rumoured, wasn't he, last season to be going. So I think regardless of whether they stay up or go down, I think he will probably have played his last. I think some fans probably after this will say it's for the best because you can't act like that.
I feel sorry for De Sabri. He shouldn't be put in that position. I feel sorry for De Sabri. He shouldn't be put in that position. The captain should not have to answer, have to let his manager answer these kind of questions. There is already so much on the game that the manager has to control and that he has to think about. This is another one that journalist is asking him questions about. No, I need to concentrate about the game against Everton on Sunday. I don't want to go into the press conference to have to answer questions about Romero that actually should be here with us and cheering us on.
Yeah.
It's
one of the strangest situations I think I've seen in a long time. But let's talk about the game. You mentioned it there. It's such a huge one, obviously, for them. At home, place where they've struggled this season. It feels like, Patrick, with Spurs, they've almost had chance after chance after chance to be safe.
Yeah.
And they've just not been able to take it. I mean, how much will those chances be playing in their heads on that final day?
I think going into the final day, they've just got to have the one thought that they need to win. And ultimately, it's all in their hands. I think, as Jimmy said, that it kind of sums up why the club is in this kind of moment. It's been a messy season for them, and they've had a lot of injuries. Let's not forget that, which obviously does take its toll. But there's no way that Tottenham, as a team and a club, should be anywhere near that bottom three.
And what about, from the flip side? I think a lot of Spurs fans will be hoping, Everton, they'll kind of be on the beach a little bit. I mean, how do you think, as a current player as well, if you're coming up against this Spurs side and you are Everton, are you thinking this could be a bit of fun, or this could be a good moment here to relegate someone, or is it more of a case of relax?
No, I think that David Moyes won't let Everton go into it relaxed. I think that they're going into that game to try and win it.
Yeah.
And there is the added incentive that it's a massive talking point if Spurs go down.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, is that going to be in that dressing room? Do you think they're going to be talking about?
I don't think it's going to be the main focus, but it's definitely going to be something that, listen, lads, you've got a chance to send Spurs down, which would be kind of a massive fallout in football.
Yeah.
David Moyes will not. That is not just the kind of man who will go into a game and be relaxed. He wants to win every game. That is just his mentality. And for Spurs on Sunday, it will not be an easy game. 100,000,000% it will not be.
Welcome back as we look ahead to Sky Sports' big weekend and what a tense final day it's going to be for fans of Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United. Quite simply, one will stay up, one will go down. Now, a point against Everton all but guarantees safety for Spurs, but if they lose and West Ham beat Leeds United, well, Spurs are relegated. Gail Davis is at Tottenham's training ground. She joins us live once again right now. Gail, it was actually someone who will not be involved on Sunday who really dominated much of Roberto De Zerbi's news conference. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, very good afternoon, David. The stakes are unbelievably high, as you were pointing out, for Tottenham. Not in almost 50 years have they been outside of the top flight of English football. This game against Everton is one of the biggest in their history, but it's not a game that's going to take place in this country. It's a game 7,000 miles away that's caused all sorts of headlines And that's because the Tottenham captain, Christian Romero, who's currently injured, he's not played since the 12th of April, since picking up a knee injury against Sunderland, is over in Argentina watching his boyhood club play a game rather than support his teammates against Everton on Sunday. It's not a great look, is it, given that the club have talked about throwing everything at this game in a bid to stay in the Premier League. This is what Roberto De Zerbi had to say.
He spoke with the medical staff. Together they decided to go in Argentina to complete the staff. Together they decided to go in Argentina to complete the rehab with the Argentinian medical staff. I'm not stupid. No. I want to be clear. I'm not stupid. If I understand there is any player or some player who thinks for himself before the club, I can't be the same Roberto, no? But with Cuti Romero, I can't say nothing because with me, in my time, he has been correct at the beginning until now.
Until now. And you can understand why people are angry until now, because Sunday is the biggest game this club has had, and your captain's not going to be there. Are you disappointed in him?
I'd answer you. The decision was with the medical staff, and I think he can't change nothing if Romero tomorrow is on the stadium or not.
Can you understand why the fans are so angry about this, that the captain is not going to be there and he could be at another match?
100% I understand.
Do you think Christian's played his last game for Tottenham? Christian Romero?
I don't know. I don't know. I think Christian is a top player, and with me was top guy. And when I say top guy, it's because I'm sure what I'm saying. For the future, I don't know. The future tomorrow is a crucial game for us, for our future, for our fans, for our club. We have to stay together.
Until now, I think they're the key words in that press conference. He's been everything I've asked of him until now. What happens going forward is going to be fascinating, isn't it? But he did pick out Ben Davies and talked about the fact that he, who's also injured, is going to spend time at the hotel here before the squad travel together. Leaders, he said, show their leadership in different ways, but it's not ideal preparation, is it, for Roberto De Zerbi on the eve of such an enormous game? Hard to think, really. It's exactly a year ago this week that Tottenham were lifting the Europa League in Bilbao. He made the point that on Sunday there are no trophies, there are no bonuses, but what lies ahead is far, far bigger and more significant for this club, and he needs every single player buying into that come Sunday afternoon.
They played a great final last season, and they won a trophy. Maybe there was a bonus, no? Tomorrow, after tomorrow, there is not a trophy, there is not a bonus, there is something more important than trophy and the bonus. There is the future of the club, there is the history of the club, there is the pride of the players, there is the pride of the family of the players, there is the dignity of every one of us. No one could imagine this situation, but we are inside and we have to fight.
That sort of narrative is what we heard from James Maddison after that defeat to Chelsea on Tuesday night. Play with pride, play with dignity. This is your reputation on the line. We have to give it our all. We are disappointed in where we are. And it was interesting in terms of team news. He's being, isn't he, eased back in after an ACL operation. I asked him about how many minutes he might have in him. It's 2 games in a week is a big ask for a player who's played so little football, but you got the sense that this was a gamble he was maybe ready to take on Maddison. They need something, they need a bit more than half an hour possibly from him on the weekend. The other good bit of team news is Dom Solanke. He spent so much of this season injured, out since April, but, and it's a big but, he says he's fit, could go from the start. So those kind of guys are the people and the players talking in that way. They're the sort of leaders that he needs to get this club over the line on Sunday afternoon. 1977, that was the last time that they played outside of English football. It is enormous on Sunday, and the outcome of this whole club and all of its players will become a bit clearer, won't it, come Sunday evening?
It will, absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Gail. Right, let's get to the West Ham side of things. Chris Reedy is at their training ground, and he's been speaking to Nuno Espirito Santo today. Chris, good afternoon to you. 3 defeats in a row for West Ham going into the final day, but they're not down yet. There is still hope.
That's right, David. There is still hope, and I think West Ham fans will have to look at this situation positively rather than negatively. As you said, 3 defeats in their last 3 games. You know, against Brentford and Newcastle included in those, but they're going to have to look beyond that before those 3 games, actually, and the results against the performance against Everton, the performances against Wolves and Everton as well. Sorry, the performances against Arsenal was much better as well. There's just that VAR that held them back. Look, I've been covering Nuno Espirito Santo and West Ham all season. Every week, he's very calm, he's very composed, and it was the same this week as well. The only thing this week, he was not downplaying how much of a massive game this is on Sunday.
Everybody's going to be aware of what's happening in the other stadiums. We cannot go away from that. What I hope is that our players ignore what's coming out and focus on the tasks inside of the pitch. This is more important than anything.
It almost feels like a cup final, is it?
Every game is a cup final in the Premier League.
But is it one of the biggest games of your career, would you say?
Probably, yes, for sure.
Gail mentioned before how Tottenham's captain Christian Romero isn't going to be there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday, but if West Ham are going to succeed, then they're going to have to hope that Jared Bowen can have an upturn in his form. 13 Premier League games without a goal for him, and of course that huge news today that he won't make England's World Cup squad as well. You have to think it's going to be a really hard one for Jared Bowen to get up for. But Nuno Espirito Santo, he's defended Jared Bowen all season, despite some people saying that he's been out of form. Here's what he had to say on his captain today.
He was sad. It's something that Jared really wanted to achieve in his personal career. Being in a World Cup, representing England, is one of the most important things, he said, but immediately turned the page and focused on Sunday.
The good news for Nuno Espirito Santo is that he's got pretty much a fully fit squad. Only Adama Traore, he says, is likely to miss out. And look, in terms of Nuno Espirito Santo's future, that's been a talking point all week if West Ham stay up or go down. Just as in previous weeks, he said, look, the only focus that we've got is Sunday in a game that he described as the biggest of his career.
All right, Chris, for the moment, thank you very much